Small retailers will be pitted up against big box stores again this holiday shopping season. But this year, the stakes are even higher.
Are you prepared to learn more about the significant changes taking place in the large retail industry? Have you ever pondered which retail behemoths are under imminent threats of extinction and whether they will make it through the retail revolution? Are you curious to know which iconic brands are struggling to keep up with the times and may not make it past 2024? Well, you're in the right place. We've got some eye-opening insights and prediction coming your way. Kohls witnessed a 0.6 decline in sale last year during the busiest shopping days. Like Black Friday, the department store's weak sales are the results of consumers cutting back on any further expenditure due to inflation. The American department store chain Kohls, stylized with all caps, is run by Kohls Company, with 1,165 sites as of December 2021, is the biggest department store chain in the country, with Hawaii being a lone exception. Maxwell Kohl, a Polish immigrant from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, began the business in 1927 when he launched a corner grocery store there. The business went on to establish itself as a prosperous chain in the neighborhood, and in 1962, it expanded by opening its first department store. The corporation was purchased by Batus Incorporation in 1979 after British American Tobacco Company acquired a controlling stake in it in 1972, while it was still run by the Kohl family. With new inclusive design concepts like showcasing women-owned businesses, accommodating customers with disabilities, and carrying gender-neutral appeal lines, Kohls has been attempting to win back customers. Regrettably, none of these actions increased the store's regular cash flow. Following layoffs, the CEO was replaced. There have been no indication that the store would recover from its sale decline. Number 2. When people hunkered down at home and discovered opportunities to compete projects during the epidemic, Joann, a large retailer of goods for sewing materials as well as art and craft, benefited, but it's having trouble. The Cleveland Fabric Shop was established in Cleveland, Ohio in 1943 by German immigrants Justin and Alma Zimmermann, Sigmund and Mathilda Rohrbach, and Hilda and Berthold Reich. With more growth, the name changed to Joann Fabrics in 1963. The name of the shop, Joann and Jacqueline Ann, is a combination of the daughter's name from both families. The business experienced a loss of $546.6 million in its 2019 fiscal year because of COVID-19 epidemic. Yet it generated $210.9 million to $212.9 million in revenue and gained 9 million additional users by the conclusion of the 2020 fiscal year. Mask regulation and a rise in enthusiasm in DIY projects are associated with the increase in sales. To better support its online sales, Joann announced plans to build an e-commerce facility in West Jefferson, Ohio in March 2021. Joann borrowed $100 million in the first and last out facilities according to their first quarter report from 2023, and the money will be used to pay off some of their $500 million asset-based revolving loan arrangement. There is some positive news with these changes. Analysts anticipate an increase in Joann sales. Number 3. Parties alone are what keeps Party City alive, but the pandemic delayed major celebration and festivities for more than a year, leaving Party City's store stocked with decorations and party supplies, but empty of revelers. In January 2023, Party City filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy as a result of this and inflation. Steve Mandel created Party City in 1986 after realizing that the market for party supplies was very fragmented, with many little mom and pop business, a little retailer creating a small section and no major players controlling the industry. Mandel went out on his own to pursue his long-held dream of owning his own retail firm. He made the decision to focus on the industry. He opened a 4,000 square foot, 370 square meters store in eastern Hanover, New Jersey, calling it Party City after scraping together $125,000. The business was successful right away, and a year later, Mandel began making plans for a second facility. There are plans for the chain to restructure, so there is cause of optimism. Sales for the third quarter of 2022 at Party City decreased 3.2% year over year, but increased 11.2% compared to 2019. Number 4. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania served as the home location for the American drugstore company Rite Aid Corporation. Corporation, Thrifty Discount Center, was established in 1962 in Scranton, Pennsylvania by Alex Grass. According to total revenue, the company was placed number 148 on the Fortune 500 list of the biggest American corporations. Rite Aid adopted its current name and made its public company debut in 1968, following several years of expansion with the ticker code RAD or RAD. Rite Aid is publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. Walgreens stated in late 2015 that subject to regulatory approval, it would buy Rite Aid for $17.2 billion. In June 29, 2017, Walgreens Boots Alliance stated that it would pay $5.18 billion to acquire around half of Rite Aid stores out of concern about antitrust laws. The pharmacy chain's effort to overtake rival Walgreens and CVS in this market have been unsuccessful. Rite Aid is in trouble as a result of this. It was over $3 billion in debt at the start of the year and had a predicted yearly loss of more than $200 million. Rite Aid expected to use the money saved by eliminating approximately 145 shops and increasing prescription business to strengthen its cash flow and pay down debt, according to the company officials earlier this year. The interest on Rite Aid's debt has an additional negative effect on its bottom line. According to the Wall Street Journal, almost 50% of the chain's debt had variable interest rate, which means that the cost of borrowing money rises each time the Federal Reserve Board raises interest rates. Number 5. Albertsons food businesses across are suffering greatly during the present economic slumps, with many stores closing and layoffs becoming routine despite increased demand for goods due to the rising living costs and rising restaurant pricing. Forbes claims that the only supermarket with an extremely high default risk is Albertsons, as the company would not be able to meet the $565 million covering about 50,000 grocery workers in the Washington, D.C. area. The enormous supermarket declared this year that it would not be able to provide pension plans. There were some hiccups due to the announcement and the possibility of legal action if it didn't fulfill its responsibility. Just as the parent company of Safeway Shop and Acme supermarkets was preparing to go public, the grocer made financial commitment. Although the agreement hasn't been finalized and the financial future for both businesses is questionable, Albertsons has given hints that it may merge with Kroger, another troubled supermarket chain. Number 6. Harvey's Grocery Store. As a new recession looms, Southeastern Grocers, a group of grocery retailers, is liquidating a number of brands. The Harvey's brand underwent several changes while being managed by the Southeastern Grocers. 3 Winn-Dixie stores in the Albany, Georgia area were changed to the Harvey's brand in June 2014. Not long after the acquisition of the old Dalhousie location was finished, 7 Harvey's stores in Georgia also switched to the Winn-Dixie brand at the same time. 3 of these stores were in Brunswick, 2 were in Valdosta, and 1 was in St. Mary's. Harvey's is in one of them. Since August 2021, the store has been running closing discounts in 30 locations across Florida, the Carolinas, and Georgia. The 23 stores that have already closed a sign that Harvey's may soon join the list of fatalities of retail disaster given the considerable fall in consumer spending we are presently witnessing. So if you enjoy the chain, you should probably visit the store while you can. Number 7. Earth Fare. On February 4, 2020, Earth Fare filed for bankruptcy and requested Chapter 11 protection about a month before the onset of the health crisis in 2020. As a result, it closed all 50 of its businesses, which were spread out over 10 states, and fired over 3,000 staff members. Each Fare is a chain of American health food stores with 20 sites spread over 8 states in the Southeast. It is one of the leading natural and organic food merchants in the nation and sells food that the firm claims have the highest product standards in the United States. 3 sites reopened in June 2020 after closing all of their doors in February 2020, and as of March 2021, there were a total of 20 locations open for business. The company had intended to work with the Whole Foods to reopen several of its sites, but the reboot is still ongoing. Jennifer Mercer, a representative of the company, asserts that the primary cause is Earth Fare's failure to refinance its $138 million in debt, despite the fact that the credit has already injected $78 million into the company's balance sheet. It soon became apparent that the grocery store couldn't generate enough revenue to stay in operation, indicating that we probably already witnessed this. And there you have it, folks, our list of 7 big box stores on the brink of extinction. But the retail landscape landscape is ever changing, and we want to hear from you. Do you agree with our predictions, or do you think we missed a crucial contender? Share your thoughts in the comment down below. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our thought-provoking content.